The trial is scheduled to begin next week and is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks. Meta faces 29 states in the federal multi-district lawsuit filed in 2023, but the Oakland trial will only include the first 4: California, Colorado, Kentucky, and New Jersey. Keith Peters, Washington.
Google is out with its latest lineup of Pixel phones. They feature slimmer cameras, include a more powerful zoom and AI features. Google is hoping the upgrades will give users a reason to buy new models and will expand the number of people using its AI tools. The most inexpensive phone in that new lineup starts at a price of $900. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Good morning, and welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. It's Thursday. What does that mean? It means in studio, the original all-star panelist, the one, the only, Crom Carmichael. Good morning, Crom.
Good morning, kind sir.
Crom, are you ready for the morning rundown?
I am.
Did you know it's brought to you by the Glock Store every day at this time?
I did, but I'm happy about that.
Here we go. Here is the morning rundown for Thursday, August 13th, 2026. Number one, Caroline Leavitt is leaving as press secretary. And you can understand why. She just had her second child. And
yes, I can understand that.
It's very difficult.
It's a demanding job.
Very demanding.
Probably 12 hours a day.
12 hours.
I would think at least.
At least.
At least.
At least. Number two, who will replace her? Well, there are 3 names that have been thrown out there. Number one, Alina Habba, who was the acting U.S. attorney in New Jersey. Number 2, Stephen Chung. Stephen is the comms director, communications director there. But here is who I think would be an outstanding press secretary.
Who's that?
I used to work with him for many years at Breitbart. Matt Boyle.
Okay.
He's in the list.
All right. Okay.
I think he'll be great.
Okay. Well, I do not know any of those 3, and so I will defer to your...
I will vouch
for
Matt Boyle.
Okay.
Mr. President, I know you listen to the program every day. My advice, my suggestion for your consideration is the Washington bureau chief for Breitbart, Matt Boyle. I've worked with him for many, many years. He would be terrific.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. Number 3, Crom. I know this will shock you. Not only was there gambling in Casablanca, there are sham marriages in the United States. You see this?
Oh, no, I did not.
You didn't see this? So there's this deal where 11 people have been indicted by the Department of Justice. They are Chinese American citizens. And here's the scam they put together. If you are a Chinese citizen and you pay them $100,000, they will fly you into New York City, and they'll bring in an American citizen who they pay $30,000. And for about an hour's worth of work, they all get dressed up in traditional Chinese outfits. They go to a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown. They take pictures, and they get married. And
So this is a Chinese citizen
yeah,
who wants to be an American citizen.
yeah,
And they have to pay this organization $100,000
right,
to find a Chinese American
yeah,
who will take $30,000
yeah,
to marry this person.
right.
And then what happens after the marriage?
Well,
I mean, after the ceremony.
yeah, they get a green card.
And
yeah.
do they stay here? Do they? So they now are an American citizen.
Well, they get a green card.
green
They
card.
get to legally stay here.
Okay.
And then they can get on the path to citizen. It's a sham marriage.
And that's okay.
It's illegal.
Okay.
And
Is this called Elon Omar Inc. by chance?
yeah, pretty close. Except I don't think they're allowed to marry their brother.
Well, they might. Who knows? Maybe if it's in Maine, it would be the cousin.
Second cousin.
Yes.
Let's be clear.
I'll just stick with cousin.
All right, number 4.
Strengthens the argument.
Flock cameras. The controversy is heating up. And you know, I I have been sort of a sole voice, or not a lonely voice, in opposition to license plate readers.
Okay. Is that what a flock camera is?
No, it's a license plate reader on super duper steroids.
Okay.
It can track everybody. They're all over the place. And the flock camera is used to track criminals, but it also, Crom, can be used to track every place you go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's good. Anyways, it's getting very, very controversial. Number 5, here's a Nashville story. This company called DC Blocks paid $23 million for land near the Nashville Zoo.
Yes.
They got zoning approval to build a data center there.
Mm-hmm.
But Fidel Freddie Antoinette O'Connell and the Politburo, known as the Nashville Metro Council, have decided, without any legal basis, to claim this land, take it away from them under eminent domain. It's an unconstitutional takings. The DC Blocks guys said, I don't think so. So they're suing them.
Okay.
Metro Nashville will lose that case ultimately.
Why did Metro Nashville, if Metro Nashville is against the data center being there, why did they give them a permit?
That's a good question for the court to decide.
Oh silly me.
Number 6, Democrats are changing the meaning of words. And I think case in point, we'll get to this. Whoops. Sorry about that, folks.
Now see what happens when you start talking about Democrats and words?
Boom.
A bell rings.
Boom.
Yes.
Yeah, the bell rang. Now, note to self, when you are the host of a radio program,
Yeah.
put your phone
On silent.
on silent.
I'm going to do mine right now. Okay. All right. Got it.
Everybody listening saying, how long have you been doing this?
Yeah.
So we'll get to the changing words that Democrats are using, which is very interesting.
It's a fascinating subject. And it's ongoing. It's
ongoing.
It's not a historical subject. There's history to it, but it's history in context that this is a strategy that they have successfully employed for a very long time.
Number 7, there's a teacher down in Houston, Texas, who went online and said, you know what? None of my seniors can read or write. And he started crying. It was so bad. And we'll play that clip for you a little bit.
Okay.
So that's the morning rundown, Crom. It's brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store. Now, you hear me, Crom, tell you that the Glock Store right here in Nashville, Tennessee, is the home for Second Amendment practitioners in the United States of America. Here's just more proof. On Saturday, September 19th, they're having an incredible event called Force on Force. Force on Force puts you into intense, realistic, live-action scenarios that test your marksmanship and your split-second decision-making skills. Oh. You're armed with the Glock 17T. The T stands for training. It fires, wait for this, Crom, simunition that leaves a mark when you hit somebody or you get hit. You'll go through 2 different real-life base scenarios and get a professional performance evaluation after each session. This is how Special Forces, SWAT teams, and tactical operators around the world train, and now it's open to the public and available at the Glock Store.
Very cool. This
will likely be the last Force on Force training event this year. Crom, there are only 2 sessions available, only 15 slots per session. They're going to sell out, so go right now to glockstore.com/FOF. glockstore.com/FOF. So there you go.
I predict they will sell out before I am here next.
I think you're probably right.
Yes.
Okay, Crom. That's the morning rundown. Let's go to this teacher. You got to watch this, Crom.
Okay.
Talking about, he's in Houston.
Okay.
His name is Darius Williams. Let's go.
I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem.
And they couldn't do it, Crom. This is a problem. American students have very low reading and writing and math proficiency. Back with more after this.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking, free. General admission, free. Memories, priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
I'm Brent Taylor, and I approve this message.
Brent Taylor has my complete and total endorsement. Those are the words of President Trump announcing his endorsement of Brent Taylor for Congress. President Trump can count on Brent Taylor to support the American First agenda, fighting inflation, cutting spending, deporting illegal immigrants, and protecting our conservative values. President Trump endorsed Brent Taylor for Congress. Now he needs your vote. Paid for by Brent Taylor for Tennessee.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Our guest in studio, the official All-Star panelist, the original All-Star panelist, Crom Carmichael. Crom, a few words on language.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't William Safire used to write a column?
Yes.
Called On Language, didn't he? Yeah, I
Well,
think he
don't,
did.
I don't remember. He was big on the meaning of
The meaning of words.
meaning of words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was a.
And how important it is that people who are having a discussion agree on the meaning of the words that they are using.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
This is in the news.
Okay.
So, the Democrats had a gubernatorial primary in Wisconsin on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Republicans did too, by the way.
Right. But the Democrat leading contender was, in essence, one of these Marxists, Francesca Hong.
Yes.
And her major accomplishment in life was having a failed restaurant. That was all she ever accomplished.
Okay.
But she was all in with the Democrat Socialist America, basically the Marxist agenda. Get rid of the Senate, get rid of the presidency, get rid of the electoral
Subsidized
college.
restaurants that are failing.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
And she was so bad, Crom. How bad was she? That they resurrected this guy who had dropped out on July the 9th. His name is David Crowley.
Mm-hmm.
Now, David Crowley, the media has portrayed David Crowley as a moderate.
Yes.
Now, I've looked into David Crowley.
Mm-hmm.
This will not surprise you. His career is as a community organizer.
Right. He is a hardcore leftist.
Right.
The only difference between has he operated a failed restaurant?
He has not failed in
Okay,
business yet.
All right, then that is the difference. That is the difference in life experiences between the winner and the loser.
Well, the other thing about him is, he dropped out of college to work for Democrat Senator Russ Feingold.
Okay.
As a field operator.
Okay.
And then he worked for a state legislator.
Okay.
And then he went into, he ran for the assembly and won.
Mm-hmm.
And then he narrowly won. He's county executive for Milwaukee.
Right. And he won that.
And he won that.
So his entire career
is being a community organizer.
Being involved, employed by government at some level or another. That's his entire life experience.
That's it.
As an adult.
The policies he supports.
And that makes him a moderate.
The policy supports are far left.
Of course they are. Yep.
But now,
if your entire life is working for government, and you believe that what you are doing is righteous and good, then by definition you have to be for bigger government, because that gives your life importance.
Meaning, even.
Meaning, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So now this guy, who's never had a real job in his life,
never understood the private sector,
but is out there community organizing. Yes. He's being portrayed as a moderate.
Which Michael, what I wanted to discuss. The left has done a very, very good job of co-opting the use of words, and so therefore when they label somebody a conservative, they then paint that person with a description that is unattractive, and then they call themselves a moderate.
Right.
And so my question to anybody is, when you have kind of discussion, is, well, what's a moderate? What is a moderate's position on, for example, taxes? What's a moderate's position on the border? What in state government? What is a moderate's position on health care? And so you go down the list of questions, and it turns out that at Crowley, if he will answer the questions on those, he'll answer the questions on those issues, state issues, it will be, well, government needs to spend more money. government needs to do this, government needs to do that to solve a problem, which always includes spending more money. So my question is, what is the definition of somebody who doesn't want government to get bigger or smaller? What would that person be? And for the left, that person is a screaming conservative. A screaming conservative is somebody who wants government to get no bigger.
I've got a word that they use. You ready?
What?
Extremist.
Yeah, there you go.
Extremist.
An extremist is somebody who thinks that government is as big as it should be. And then a super extremist, which would be bordering on being a Nazi, would be somebody who thinks that government should become smaller. Which, by the way, is the opposite of a Nazi.
According to the opposite
I'm saying that's the opposite. This is what the left does.
Yeah.
If you want government to become smaller, if you want individuals to actually have more freedom and therefore more accountability and personal responsibility, if you want those things, then you are considered to be a vile person bordering on Nazism. And, of course, Nazism was all government encompassing.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how the use of words is
Did
co-opted.
you see this? The Southern Poverty Law Center executive has been indicted. The Southern Poverty Law Center, she was basically in charge of identifying extremist groups around the country.
And then funding them, creating them.
Not only that.
Yeah.
Now, this guy wasn't her second cousin.
Okay.
But she was funding an insider. She was paying an insider that was in one of the groups, apparently in Charlottesville. Right?
Yes.
To
foment violence.
To foment violence. Yeah. But not only was she funding him, she was sleeping with him. They were living together.
Oh.
Politics makes cozy bedfellows with.
In a literal sense here. Well, I don't think she's being indicted for that part, is she? Or is that part of the indictment?
It's a fact included in the indictment.
Okay.
I think, but still.
Okay. Well,
I mean, she went around. If you the allegation is, if you gave money to the Southern Poverty Law Center, they in turn, through this woman who's now been indicted, would give it to people who would go into quote extremist groups and foment violence.
Well,
so that they would have extremists to raise money about.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me in some cases whether or not they almost created the extremist groups out of whole cloth. Recently there was this group of white men going around in khaki pants, white shirts, and these baseball caps, and they were named something, and then somebody started digging into them, and all of a sudden that group disappeared. They would show up on subways and buses, and there might be 30 to 50 of them together, and they were considered to be this white nationalist group, but nobody could identify them and whatnot. And then somebody started to try to dig in and find out, well, who are you?
Yeah.
Where does your funding come from? And bam, they disappeared. And my guess is that that was an organization created by the left. This is my guess, that they were created by the left so that they could. So that the left would have extremist groups to attack, and
of course,
and
raise money.
But Michael, the other word, and we use the word. The left likes to use the word moderate to try to describe somebody as reasonable, but a moderate today is it's Elon Musk had a very interesting debate with this lady from a European publication, and he said, "Look,
The Economist."
Yeah, he said, okay, thank you. He said, look. My position hasn't changed in 20 years. I'm a normal person. I believe in the following things, and he listed those things, and he said, what is wrong with any of my positions? And she wouldn't respond to the things that he was talking about, which were all big issues, by the way. But he said, my position has not changed in 20 years. The left has just gotten farther and farther and farther left.
Yeah.
And so while 20 years ago I was slightly on the left side of the median, he said now I'm on the right side of the median, not because the right has moved, and the right really hasn't moved very much. The right's positions on things is pretty much the same as it has been for 50 years, but the right has been losing. The left has absolutely been in ascendancy the entire time, and I define the left as bigger government, bigger and more powerful government. And no matter who's in office, the government seems to get bigger and more powerful. Even if Republicans are in office, Republicans slow down the growth, but they don't reverse it.
Actually, not really. But we'll talk about that.
Okay.
And more in the use of language.
Yes.
What do words really mean? With the modern-day William Safire, known to our listeners as the original All-Star panelist, Crom Carmichael. Back after this.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98. Queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pier 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus, free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar and reducing appetite. So, what if you're looking to lose weight but not interested in painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those intense side effects? That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The ingredients studied in Lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings, so you're not as hungry. But listen, Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 or more pounds to lose. Get started with 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Go to takelean.com and enter the code Godzilla for your discount. That's discount code Godzilla at takelean.com.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Honesty, integrity, help Tennessee, markpody.com.
The values that have made Tennessee strong, faith, personal responsibility, freedom, and respect for one another are rooted in timeless godly principles. Those values are worth protecting, and I'm going to continue fighting to preserve them for our children and grandchildren. I'm Mark Pody, and I'd be honored to earn your vote again.
markpody.com.
Paid for by the campaign trail like Mark Pody.
Candace Graham, Treasurer.
I'm Scott Desjardins, and I approve this message.
We will make America great again.
President Donald Trump has given his complete and total endorsement to Congressman Scott Desjardins, saying he fights for our military, veterans, law enforcement, and the Second Amendment.
I'm honored to be endorsed by President Trump. I know together we've got to control inflation, secure our borders, and strengthen our military.
Scott Desjardins, representing the people of the 4th Congressional District.
With your support, we will make America great again. Paid for by friends of Scott Desjardins.
Johnny Garrett's not some out-of-touch D.C. politician.
Johnny Garrett's a Tennessean, a Christian conservative, and a proud father of 3 who's sick of the far left ruining our country with their radical policies. Conservative Johnny Garrett is proudly pro-life, pro-Trump to his core, and will always put America first. In Congress, Garrett will fight to lower taxes, cut government waste, and will always back the blue and support law and order. Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girl sports. No to communist China buying our farmland. And no to criminal illegals invading our state. Because with Johnny Garrett, what you see is what you get. It's time to bring more Tennessee to D.C. Send Trump conservative Johnny Garrett to Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Johnny Garrett for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Crime, we're talking about the Wisconsin election for the Democrat gubernatorial nomination.
Mm-hmm.
It was 40% for the left-wing lunatic and 37% for the community organizer. And then all of a sudden, there were these dumps of votes.
Yeah.
And the left-wing lunatic lost by about 1%.
Right.
Isn't that curious?
Yeah, well, I'm I'm confident based on evidence, not proof, that there was chicanery involved in Wisconsin, and I believe that the loser Hong knows that she got shafted by the establishment, but she came out in favor of the winner and has now thrown her support behind him, and my prediction is that if he were to win the general, that she will get a very important position in his administration and get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Because she certainly can't go back to the restaurant business.
She can't go back in the restaurant business.
She doesn't know how to do that.
But what we'll do is we'll just simply watch and see, and then because this is how the left rewards the left.
Yeah.
Is with government money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to another use of words. The Women's National Basketball Association.
Yes.
They're having a difficult time because they met yesterday, all of the executives, a task force of team presidents and general managers met. And they're trying to decide what a woman is because there are 2 former male NBA players, Royce White and Enes Kanter-Freedom, who have declared they want to be in the WNBA draft in 2027.
Because they identify now.
They identify now.
Yeah, as a woman. and so the what's interesting is the collective bargaining agreement for the WNBA says that only women can play in the WNBA.
Yeah. So this is interesting.
But it doesn't define in the contract. Now, 20 years ago, it would not have been difficult.
It would be laughable to think otherwise.
To say what a woman is. In other words, in contracts on key words that are used in the contract that have meaning, there's usually a section where there's a definition for those words. Now, 20 years ago, you didn't need to have the definition of a woman. When you said that only women can play in the WNBA, you didn't have to define what a woman was. Now you do, because the way the left is now trying to construe it. Ketanji Brown Jackson couldn't even said she was incapable.
Marsha Blackburn asked her in the confirmation hearings, "What is a woman?"
And she,
I'm not a biologist.
I'm not a biologist. And so now the WNBA, because these 2 former NBA players, former males, who now have self-identify as a woman now, and so if they don't change the definition, if they don't make the definition so that these people can't by definition play in the WNBA, then they'll sue the league.
I have some words for you.
Yeah,
these are words generated by the WNBA after the meeting yesterday.
Oh, okay.
You'll love this.
Yeah.
Quote, today's meeting covered a wide range of topics, including ongoing discussions on transgender athletes and the continued hate and vitriol
Yeah.
directed at players online.
Right. And
we will continue to engage all league stakeholders in the coming weeks and months. We will approach these important conversations thoughtfully and in alignment with the values of our league. There are no immediate eligibility matters affecting the WNBA, and we strongly denounce the bad faith efforts to use these topics to demean or marginalize others.
All they have to do is come up with their own definitions, but if they don't, these two guys, they will sue, and they'll force it into court, and they will force the WNBA to define the word woman, because in a contract, in a player's agreement, you have to, if there are major terms in there, if you get sued, you have to be able to say what that word means.
So
they'll be forced to do it, and they won't be able to say the absence of hate and vitriol. They won't be able to do that. And by the way, for the left, any disagreement with them
is hatred.
Is hatred and vitriol.
Yeah. So the exact language, they signed this collective bargaining agreement in March of this year.
Okay.
And it says, quote, only players who are women are eligible to play in the WNBA.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's, as you point out,
they won't define that word.
They don't define women.
And you have to be able to define that is a term, that is a definitional term in the contract.
Yeah.
And so
I got a little twist for you.
Yeah.
While it is true, Crom, that no person assigned male at birth has played in the NBA, two known, quote, non-binary athletes, Lashia Clarendon and A.D. Durr, have played. Both were assigned female at birth.
I don't know what that means.
It means that they're pretending to be male now, but they were assigned female, and they have played in the WNBA. They were born female.
Okay. Well, then, once again, that may fit the definition.
It may.
And so the WNBA is now going to be forced to define what and Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah, Sophie Cunningham. She's the bravest person in the league. She's a lot braver than Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is trying to keep a lower profile and just be a player.
Let me just say for a moment. Caitlin Clark is trying to play basketball. It's a very difficult environment. By the way, if you've seen, she's like on fire this year.
Okay.
Her first year was fine.
Okay.
Her second year she was injured. This year she's great, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of the hatred towards her, a lot of the violence towards her has been taken over, and Sophie Cunningham has been running interference for her.
Okay.
And she's sort of the sixth person.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't say sixth man in the WNBA.
Okay, yeah, and you can't say, it's hard to say sixth woman because they won't define one. So anyway, it's interesting, but but it also is telling. So you can laugh at this, but even the word freedom, the left has now co-opted the word freedom. People ought to be free to do what they want, even if they don't have the income to do it.
So
this is. I mean, Michael, this is the way that Nancy Pelosi, when she was Speaker of the House, the statement that I just made is a paraphrase.
Yeah.
But it's close enough to being that it could almost be a quote that people should be free to do what their life tells them to do, even if they can't pay for it, which means that somebody else has to do it. So for them, freedom is a one-way deal.
I need to hear from Kromstrodamus.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Okay, I'll get my hat on.
Well, get your hat on. Kromstrodamus. Now, the WNBA draft will be held in, I think, April or May of 2027.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Royce White, born male.
Mm-hmm.
Enos Cantor Freedom, that's his name, born male.
Yeah.
Former NBA, have all declared for the draft.
First name is Enos.
Enos.
Yes. Right. Go ahead.
Kromstrodamus.
Yes.
Will these two individuals be allowed to participate in the WNBA draft?
All right, I'm going to ask you to please rephrase that. Okay.
Why don't you rephrase it the way you want to?
Okay. Will they be drafted? Will either of them be drafted?
That's a very good answer.
Okay.
And the answer is
neither will be drafted.
They will be declared eligible, but they won't be drafted.
No, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure it'll get to the point of being declared eligible. If they were declared eligible, that would be that would really change the rules.
Right.
So I think they will be ignored.
Ignored.
And that will bring about a lawsuit.
Yeah.
That'll bring about a lawsuit.
That's okay. That's a good answer,
Yeah.
Nostradamus.
Yes.
Cromstradamus.
Yeah.
They'll win the lawsuit
unless the league defines women that excludes people who were born male.
They won't do that.
Well, if they don't,
well, this is Mike Stradamus saying that.
Yeah. Does
Cromstradamus agree with that?
This is so much bigger than the league. It really has to do with what does the word normal mean? And I'm not even talking about in terms of sex. I'm talking about when Elon Musk says, my positions are the positions of normal people.
Yeah.
And that means the average person thinks that we ought to have police, for example. The left does not. And Michael, there's now no distinction between the Social Democrats and the Democrat Party writ large, because the Democrat Party in the House was asked to sign a letter. Each member was asked to sign a letter opposing the Democrat Socialists, and only 8 Democrats signed the letter, and every one of them is in a swing district. And so we don't even know if they signed the letter because they actually agree with what the letter says, or if because they need to sign the letter to win the next election. But when over 90%, 95% of the Democrat Party refuses to denounce communism, and so communism is now for the Democrats, it's okay. But that's because in order for people to be free to do whatever they want to, the government has to be able to be free to take money from people who work to give it to those who don't.
Crom, are you ready for a change of pace in the next section?
I'm certainly ready, yes.
There's a mystery I've been trying to solve.
Oh.
For a long time.
Okay.
And I believe I have solved it. And the mystery is, why is the state of Tennessee the only state in the union where political party primaries are held on a Thursday?
Ooh. All right.
Stick around.
Okay, I
will. If you are a history nerd, you will love the answer to this mystery. Back after this.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Soul Tea almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Soul Tea. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Salty, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
I'm Brent Taylor, and I approve this message.
Brent Taylor has my complete and total endorsement. Those are the words of President Trump announcing his endorsement of Brent Taylor for Congress. President Trump can count on Brent Taylor to support the American First agenda, fighting inflation, cutting spending, deporting illegal immigrants, and protecting our conservative values. President Trump endorsed Brent Taylor for Congress. Now he needs your vote. Paid for by Brent Taylor for Tennessee.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Crom, I believe I have the answer to a mystery that has bothered me for 35 years.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Thanks to our friends at Grok and AI.
Okay.
And my persistent questioning.
Okay.
Proper queries. So when I moved to Tennessee, 1990-91, and I went in to vote, and the first primary election was held on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, that's weird. Every other state has a primary on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Some have primaries on a Saturday. It's the first Thursday in August. And I thought, why is that? Crom, I've asked many, many public officials to answer that question. No one knows. But now I know the answer.
And what is it?
Well, the only state in the union to hold primaries on Thursday. Here's the answer. It has to do with the fact that when we were first populated, Tennessee was part of the state of North Carolina. You may recall that.
Okay.
And in North Carolina, as in much of the colonial and then early American republic, when you went in to vote, you did not go to a local precinct. You had to go to your county courthouse. So everybody would ride in, they'd get on they'd get their wagons and they'd drive into town and they would vote.
Mm-hmm.
But farmers also typically, and particularly in North Carolina, Saturday was a market day.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So what they did in North Carolina, starting in the late colonial period, and then they codified it in the 1780s, they made Election Day in North Carolina 2 days, Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Friday was Election Day in North Carolina.
2 days.
2 days, because some people would have to drive a long way.
Okay.
And some people not so much.
Or ride a long way.
Yeah, ride a long way. So what the farmers would come into the county, there were like 50 counties, right?
Okay.
So they would ride into the county, they would go to the courthouse and vote on a Thursday or a Friday, and they'd stick around for market day on Saturday. Then they'd go back home for church on Sunday. Now,
okay.
In North Carolina, because they didn't ratify the Constitution, until late 1789, 1790, did not participate in the first congressional elections. They did, however, participate in the second congressional elections in 1790. And the part of North Carolina that's now Tennessee was part of that state.
Oh.
And so the elections that day, that in 1790, were held, wait for it, on Thursday, Friday.
So you're telling me that Memphis was part of North Carolina?
Correct.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, that was a wide state.
Brief, it was very wide.
Wide state.
So the tradition was Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Now, after the 1792 election, it was very interesting because after the 1790 election, very shortly they elected John Sevier to represent the District of North Carolina. That's now the state of Tennessee. Shortly thereafter, they made Tennessee Southwest Territory status in anticipation of statehood. And even though Tennessee was a territory, they allowed Sevier to stay in Congress. So there were no congressional elections until 1796, when we became a state, and the first Constitution said local and judicial elections will be held on a Thursday.
Okay.
That was the North Carolina tradition. Now, the general elections continued to be held on a Thursday. So the local elections were held on the first Thursday in August, and then the general election will be held on a Thursday, Friday, but the Constitution said Thursday. In 1845, Congress passed a law that said we want to have elections for the general election on a Tuesday. Tennessee didn't do that until 1872 on our third Constitution when we came back. Now, talking about the primary elections, there were no primary elections for political parties in the state of Tennessee throughout the 19th century. There would be a convention to see who would be the congressman, who would be the state rep. In 1910, they did primaries, and for 1 year, they did it on Saturday in August. And then people looked around and said, hey, we're already doing it on Thursday. So they passed a law to say the local elections are on Thursday. We're going to make the primaries on Thursday. And that is the answer to the mystery.
And there you go.
So there you go.
And so now, instead of sticking around in Tennessee after the election for the market, they now stick around to go to the football game.
Boom.
On Saturday.
That's right. Now, kind of related, I say, why is that important? Every state has its own unique history.
Mm-hmm.
And Tennessee has a unique history. We're the only state in the union where the only statewide elected office is governor. And I think
Wait, say that again?
The only statewide elected office is governor.
Okay.
For a non-federal office.
Excuse me. All right.
For a non-federal office.
All right.
Right. And that's unique to Tennessee. I think these unique elements make Tennessee great.
Yep. Well, that's
so there you go.
Yeah. You know, another thing is I was thinking about this when you gave the geography. And this is, if you think of Memphis to the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, was part of North Carolina.
Yeah, it was 2 states, but now it's still 2 states. Think any place else from the Mississippi toward the Atlantic, you got to go through at least 4 states.
Boom.
At least 4.
And there you go.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right, Crom Carmichael, original All-Star panelist. Thanks for joining us
today.
You betcha. All right, when we come back, Clint Brewer will weigh in on who should the next press secretary be. I have my favorite. Back after this.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to HealthyCell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's HealthyCell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
People are out there saying, oh, the Iranians are never going to live by it. But let me tell you something. President Trump is going to bomb them again if they screw around.
Hopefully they live up to it. And if not, the pounding's coming. We're going to do it again and again and again.
The Cats and Cosby Show, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Trump is the toughest president we ever had.
Well, he's definitely the best bomber.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio.
WJFN, W224EB, 92.7 FM Chester, W299DB, 107.7 Bon Air, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFV Portsmouth, AM.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. A former executive with the Southern Poverty Law Center has been arrested. Attorney General Todd Blanche says former SPLC CFO Heidi Byrick faces bank fraud and a conspiracy charge.
I think as alleged in the indictment, this individual participated in the scheme as alleged. I believe she was part of the effort to open bank accounts in completely fictitious companies' names and make payments to individuals for reasons that were not that were not accurate as described.
Byrick allegedly oversaw fraudulent donor payments to informants inside hate groups, including one with whom she allegedly had a romantic relationship and held a joint bank account with. Congo's Ebola outbreak goes from bad to worse, spreading to a sixth province where one death has been reported so far. How much is an NBA franchise worth these days? In the case of the LA Lakers, a bundle.
The Los Angeles Lakers are being sold to businessmen Josh Kushner and Bob Iger for $12.5 billion, the second time in just over a year. The sale, first reported by ESPN, still needs approval from the NBA's Board of Governors, and that process can take several weeks. The Lakers were valued at $10 billion last year when Mark Walter purchased a controlling stake from the Buss family. Kushner and Iger had also been involved in trying to get an expansion team for Las Vegas, but by buying the Lakers, the two do not have to wait for that decision. If it happens, expansion could take place in the 2028-29 season. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
Wholesale inflation cooled last month as falling gas prices reversed some of the recent price spikes. On Wall Street this hour, the Dow trading 92 points higher. The Nasdaq is up 241. The S&P better by 56 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of year-long contracts and pointless restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule and at your convenience. With CHM, you're paying half the cost of a traditional health insurance plan. So that puts more money back into your budget for everyday needs. Plus, you'll have access to CHM's care solutions for virtual appointments, prescription savings, surgery support, and more. My family and I joined in 2018, and it's changed our lives for the better. We love paying way less while helping other believers afford their medical bills. Take the leap of faith and see why Christians across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
A territorial dispute between Russia and Japan dating back to the closing days of World War II remains unresolved. All these years later.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has visited one of 4 Russian-held islands claimed by Japan in his first trip to the disputed territory. Japan calls the islands the Northern Territories. Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi responded, saying the 4 islands are Japan's, quote, inherent territory, both historically and under international law. He strongly protested Putin's visit. The two countries have never signed a formal Second World War peace treaty, with the unresolved territorial dispute over the islands remaining a major obstacle.
The BBC's Karumi Mori. The search for survivors amid the rubble of Colombia's earthquake is growing more desperate. Rescue teams are pushing up against a key time threshold to locate survivors before it's too late. News and analysis at townhall.com. Murder charges are unsealed against the son of actor film producer Rob Reiner and his wife.
A Los Angeles grand jury that has been meeting in secret has indicted Nick Reiner on murder charges in the stabbing deaths of his parents, Hollywood producers Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner. The unsealed indictment reveals few details, but alleges Nick was lying in wait for his parents before attacking them, which could make him eligible for the death penalty. The indictment comes as he seeks money from a trust his parents established for him, saying he needs it to help in his defense. In a statement, Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman says he hopes the indictment will bring them one step closer to a trial and achieving justice. I'm Jennifer King.
Lawyers for Tyler Robinson, charged with killing Charlie Kirk, argue against the death penalty for Robinson. The defense says he should not be subject to a death sentence because the gunman, quote, hit the intended target and no one else was endangered. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We have some breaking news from yesterday. Caroline Leavitt, who's been a very effective press secretary for President Trump, has announced that she will be leaving at the end of this month. She's very, very good, very young. She has 2 young children. She just gave birth to a second child. And, she told the president, it's very difficult to do this job and be a good mom to 2 kids. And she just can't do it anymore, which is very understandable. I think she's been outstanding as a press secretary. So the question now turns to who should replace her. And she'll be there to the end of August, so, September 1st, Labor Day time, they need to have a new press secretary there. I have a recommendation, and I'll get to who my recommendation is. I know him very well. I think he'd be an outstanding press secretary. But let's talk about a couple of the other folks first. Alina Habba, an attorney primarily, who was an acting U.S. attorney, and she's been a Trump loyalist. She'd be fine. And then Stephen Chung, who is the communications director, and he'd do a fine job as well. But my recommendation to the president is I think he should appoint my former colleague at Breitbart, my former boss at Breitbart News, Matt Boyle. Matt Boyle is my recommendation to the president to become his next press secretary. Why do I say that? Well, look, I worked with Matt for a decade at Breitbart. I started to work in Breitbart in April of 2012 and was hired by Stephen K. Bannon. And then Matt Boyle, who worked for several years at the Daily Caller, was hired by a reporter, as a reporter at Breitbart in 2012, in December of 2012. He was a very good reporter, very good, and very strong, anti-establishment, if you will, but fact-based. In 2015, he became the political editor of Breitbart, and I worked with Matt. He was my boss, if you will, and I know the guy. And I think he is very well positioned and well suited to be the White House press secretary. He's got a background in journalism. He has a temperament that is well suited to the job. In other words, he's a very steady guy, and yet he doesn't give an inch to false narratives. And he's probably one of the hardest working guys I've ever met. He also has a long pattern of relationships with others in media. So he's known, not just being the Washington political editor for Breitbart News, he is also known by the mainstream media folks that are there and are constantly giving President Trump a hard time. He's known, he's respected by them. They don't always agree with him, but he's respected by them. Now, he's interviewed President Trump I don't know how many times, pretty close to, it's dozens of times. Now, yours truly, let's see. I've interviewed the president before he was president. I've actually never interviewed him as president. But when he was running for president the first time around, I had a couple of rope line interviews and then more in one extended interview with him when I talked to him about eminent domain. And but he's got the trust of the president. And I think my recommendation is the best man for the job is a man this time, and his name is Matt Boyle. So, Mr. President, when you sit down and you think about who do I choose to replace Caroline Leavitt, I recommend you choose my former colleague for a decade at Breitbart News, the one, the only Matt Boyle. Now, another person who would do a great job as White House press secretary, but I don't see him putting his hand up for the job, is our all-star panelist, a completely recovered journalist, public affairs specialist, the one, the only Clint Brewer. Clint, are you throwing your hat in the ring to be the next White House press secretary?
I thought we were friends, Mike. No, absolutely not. I'm not in the running. If elected, I will not serve.
So, why do you say this?
Well, it's just like one of the hardest jobs on the planet. I mean, doesn't really matter which party's in office. It's a really hard job. Kind of a thankless job in a lot of ways. An important job, incredibly important job, but pretty difficult.
How would you grade Caroline Leavitt as a press secretary?
I think she's been a really good reflection of this administration in terms of its disposition.
See, that's such a good Clint Brewer answer.
Well, I mean, I think she carries. I think she has been a good messenger for the Trump administration. I think that they, I think that the president's constituents expect him to, draw a certain line in the sand with the media, and I think she's done that. I think that she's been appropriately confrontational, but not overly confrontational.
It's a good way to put it, because you don't want to be, screaming and calling names to your enemies all the time, but you need to address them directly when they make, they have false premises.
Well, and I will say this about the Trump press operation. I mean, I think they've, in these first almost 2 years, done a really good job of avoiding that classic mistake where you send the press secretary out to say something that just isn't true. And, it happens to almost every press secretary because they're not always in the loop, certainly on the matters of national security or foreign wars or anything like that. And you've seen over the years in both parties, press secretaries been sent out with information that wasn't entirely correct. And they've avoided that. I think that's not just kudos to her, but the entire press team.
Well, Stephen Chung, the comms director there, is doing a really good job.
Exactly. So
that guy takes no prisoners.
He doesn't. And I mean, the media doesn't like them.
No.
But I mean, they're in a naturally adversarial position. And in theory, the press should be in an adversarial position to every administration, regardless of party. I mean, that's somewhat the job of the press.
In theory.
But, I think she's done an admirable job, and she's ready to go back to her family, and she's been a public servant, and I think that's appropriate.
I was surprised at how good she's been at this job. She's young.
She is young.
I don't think she's 30 years old yet.
No, she's young. She's very tough. Very tough, and I just don't think you can ask for much more from a press secretary, regardless of their age.
So, my recommendation to the president, because he listens to the program every day,
outstanding,
we're told, is my former colleague and former boss at Breitbart News, Matt Boyle.
Yep, they're going to need a tough one. I mean, they're going to need. Again, she's been very firm with the press. She's pushed back really hard on some things that she needed to, and big shoes to fill.
I think the other candidates there would be not as good as Matt, in my view.
I haven't really tracked the other candidates. I don't know who is out there.
Well, I'm not going to say anything negative about him.
Right.
But I just think Matt would be much better than any of them.
Right.
Because he knows how to deal with. He's dealt with these people for now, since over 15 years. All of them.
Right.
All of the people on the mainstream media who are there confrontational, he has dealt with them mano a mano for 15 years. And in addition to that, let me just say, I have a sense that our access to President Trump from the Tennessee Star, the Star News Network, and other new media, if Matt Boyle is in that job, I think we'll get better access.
Well, I mean, that was a linchpin of the campaign.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about sports.
Okay.
And it's Tennessee Vols, NFL. Good things have happened.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we get back. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. He's Clint Brewer.
Ponder this. How many times have you heard that freedom means doing whatever you want as long as we don't hurt anyone else? On its face, this sounds pretty reasonable. But when you think about it, everything you do has an impact on someone or something. Let's say we overindulge in drinking. The immediate impact may be that we cannot get to work on time the next morning or even at all. Let's say we eat whatever we want, whenever we want. When health problems ensue later in life, your family, your friends, and your community may be impacted. For every action, there is a reaction, and this is Newton's law of physics. But it applies to our spiritual life as well. Being truly free means doing God's will in every decision that we make. This means we must know God's will by following His commandments and talking with Him in our daily life. Pray, trust, and persevere in following God's will for you every day. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Hey folks, Al Green here for Sat Phone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need Sat Phone. Sat phones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your Sat phone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your Sat phone. Call now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
All right, guys and gals, we get it. You're not logging into GodzillaWins.com for the articles. You want to be a winner. So we stripped it down and made the all-new GodzillaWins.com all about winning. Get winning picks from J-Fred, Coach Vince, and the whole GW posse. You choose the games and Godzilla Wins picks the winners. Easy peasy. Catch the show Saturday mornings, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and hit the site every day. The all-new GodzillaWins.com. Winners, click here.
Johnny Garrett's not some out-of-touch D.C. politician. Johnny Garrett's a Tennessean, a Christian conservative, and a proud father of 3 who's sick of the far left ruining our country with their radical policies. Conservative Johnny Garrett is proudly pro-life, pro-Trump to his core, and will always put America first. In Congress, Garrett will fight to lower taxes, cut government waste, and will always back the blue and support law and order. Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girl sports. No to communist China buying our farmland. And no to criminal illegals invading our state. Because with Johnny Garrett, what you see is what you get. It's time to bring more Tennessee to D.C. Send Trump conservative Johnny Garrett to Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Johnny Garrett for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Clint Brewer here in the studio. We want to talk about some sports.
All right.
And, of course, you are a graduate of the University of Tennessee.
Proud graduate of the University of Tennessee.
A proud volunteer. By the way, have you seen this? What's going on? Do you know the hardest schools to get into now? SEC schools. Very hard to get into.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because everybody wants to go there.
Yeah. Well, the football, nice social scenes there, shall we say.
Instagram friendly for the youth. Yeah.
And, parents who live in like the Northeast or the West are looking around saying, why am I going to send my kid to an Ivy League school to get ruined?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's just the Ivies. I mean, I think that on the East Coast, there's a lot of desire in certain households to send their kids to places where they're not going to get indoctrinated into any ideology, I mean, a good state school in the South is a great way to go.
I was having dinner the other night with a couple people who recently moved here from California and another person who's contemplating moving here from California. And I discovered that the University of Tennessee is very popular among Californians.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting. It is. I think there's I can tell you just from my own kids and their friends, there's a little bit of a backlash to it on campuses.
Yeah.
There's a lot of memes about too many kids from New Jersey coming to Southern schools, and how they have a little hard time blending in. But there is some backlash to it. But it is a testament to just how great these schools are.
They're paying out of state tuition.
They are paying out of state tuition.
So,
but states have made some adjustments. I mean, the University of Tennessee now gives automatic admission to anybody who is in the top 10% of their graduating class.
Yeah, that's good.
So there's been some adjustment there.
That's good.
I mean, everybody wants to be Chapel Hill, right? I mean, that's really the goal is for all state schools in the South. They're really reaching to try to be academically as good as North Carolina.
Give
or
me
Virginia.
a break.
No, they are. I mean, it's been that way for 30 years.
It has been.
It has.
But now this is interesting because I think the University of Tennessee has surpassed the University of North Carolina.
Well, I think college administrators look at those rankings a lot. It's still an industry.
Yeah, I know.
But they're raising their admission standards. The median ACT scores, the median grade point averages, those incoming freshman classes, particularly at Tennessee, is getting higher and higher.
So here on the John Fredericks Media Network, we're on 21 radio stations around the country. And, we got Rumble, YouTube, all that sort of stuff as well. But next week, we're making a big, big change and addition in the state of Tennessee because 760 AM WENO Nashville will be joined by 950 AM WAKM in Franklin.
That's a big deal.
And this program will be moving from this time slot, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern, 9 a.m. to 11 Central, to 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central. This is the first time I've ever done afternoon drive.
Wow.
First time.
I'm excited.
I'm excited, too, because, one thing, we first did this, I was doing the 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Never do that.
Right.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's tough. I remember when we started, it was early in the morning.
Now, the other thing, too, that what I really like about this is, if you look at the news cycle, when you started, it was, you would say the news cycle was like 24 hours, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Today, the news cycle is what? 8 hours?
I don't think it's on a clock.
6 hours?
I think
it's a constant.
It's minute to minute on X. I mean,
it's like
there is no more news cycle. It's just news.
So what's interesting about that is, if we start a show 10 a.m. on Eastern time, 9 a.m. Central. The news of the day is kind of already broken.
Well, you could have news of the day happen right before you go on the air. I mean, it used to be 24-hour news. That was the thing, and that was when cable came out, and people regarded it as this big change, and it was. Now, I often hear pundits and talking heads talk about how, well, people just aren't outraged by anything anymore. I don't think that's the case.
People are outraged by everything.
Well, yeah. I think that a story that would have been a week-long story 10 years ago is now lasts for an hour, maybe 6.
Maybe.
Depending on it. I mean, it just doesn't last.
So here's the other good thing about this change. So on Monday, we'll be here 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. But in addition, we have some new programming on 760 a.m., 950 a.m., WKM in Franklin, Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah.
And Tennessee Titans.
The Vol Radio Network.
Would you like to know who my broadcast colleague is going to be? The great Mike Keith.
Amazing.
He's got a show, and he'll be following, I think, like 1 hour after yours truly, starting in September.
That's cool.
Isn't that great?
That's great. Yeah.
Now let's talk a little Tennessee Volunteer football.
All right.
My favorite NFL player is our buddy Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
I say buddy. We've never met, but
no.
I like his story. I like his style.
Got picked up by...
Here's the story.
Yeah.
I thought, now here's a guy who started in 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
4th round draft pick. Didn't play. I think he's drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Then spent a couple of years with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then went back to the Steelers. I think maybe got into 1 or 2 games in like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And his career in 2022 was like, he was on the practice squad for the Detroit Lions.
Right.
At the end of the 2022 season. And the Titans were competing to be in the playoffs. They were 7-7. And all the other quarterbacks went down. And Vrabel gave a call to Josh. Hey, Josh, you want to come down and in 2 days start a game for the Titans?
Right.
And he was on the practice squad in Detroit, and he got in his car and he drove in, and he started, and he played well.
He did.
They lost 2 games, but Josh played well.
He did.
But they didn't sign him.
No, they didn't.
And then he went to the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
And Arizona's quarterbacks went down. So they brought him in like 2 days before the start of the season, and he started 10 games and played well. Then they traded him to Minnesota.
Yep.
Where he started like 4 games and did well for the first 2 games, and then not as well the others. But and then he signs a guaranteed contract for he signs a guaranteed contract.
San Francisco?
San Francisco for a year.
Yeah.
$2 million. Well, he started the last game, did very well. Then he goes to the New England Patriots, right? Signs a 2-year deal for $8 million. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But only the first year was guaranteed. They cut him.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty brutal. And I'm looking at it. He's like 31 years old.
Yeah, he's a journeyman backup,
He's a journeyman backup.
And he hadn't taken a lot of hits. I mean, at this point, at 31, he could play.
He could play longer.
He could play 7 or 8 more years.
He could play longer.
He's not been used a lot. He's in great shape. He's a competent backup. He's proven it. If you look at his track record as a starter, he's probably done better as a starter than 2/3 of the active quarterbacks in the league.
So, and of course, he's a rocket scientist.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
And he's got that condition of alopecia, so he's completely bald. But he's just a great guy.
Yeah, and just a great story and a smart young man.
But I thought his career was over because nobody picked him up.
Right.
Nobody picked him up. And then, you just got to stick around and be ready.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to training camp. He's nowhere to be found. Nobody signed him.
Mm-hmm.
Then, about a week into training camp, Teddy Bridgewater, the backup for the Detroit Lions, announces for the second time he's retiring at the age of 33.
Yep.
The phone rang quickly.
Yep.
And Josh said yes, asterisk. It's a different deal. It's $1.4 million. So salary drop, but only $450,000 is guaranteed, which means, yeah, they're going to keep him for a while, maybe for the whole year.
Right.
But if you're Josh Dobbs, you know, these opportunities, you got to be ready for and the moral of the story of Josh is he's ready. He's trying. He's up there taking the at-bats, if you will.
Yeah.
And so I'm rooting for him.
Well,
We'll
economically, I mean, as smart as he is, you know, I can't imagine he's spent a whole lot of it.
No, he's saved the money.
I mean,
so.
you know, he's probably averaged, he came out in 17, so for, 10 years in the NFL, he's probably made $20-30 million.
Good job. Good for him. And he's not taking that many hits.
No. He's not going to come out with CTE or bad knees or anything else, so not the worst way to spend the first 10 years of your career.
When we come back, the postmortem for the primary elections on Thursday. Back with Clint Brewer after this.
Folks, this is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Solti. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many, many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Solti for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Solti. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
I'm Brent Taylor, and I approve this message.
Brent Taylor has my complete and total endorsement. Those are the words of President Trump announcing his endorsement of Brent Taylor for Congress. President Trump can count on Brent Taylor to support the American First agenda, fighting inflation, cutting spending, deporting illegal immigrants, and protecting our conservative values. President Trump endorsed Brent Taylor for Congress. Now he needs your vote. Paid for by Brent Taylor for Tennessee.
Honesty, integrity, help Tennessee, markpody.com.
The values that have made Tennessee strong, faith, personal responsibility, freedom, and respect for one another, are rooted in timeless godly principles. Those values are worth protecting, and I'm going to continue fighting to preserve them for our children and grandchildren. I'm Mark Pody, and I'd be honored to earn your vote again.
markpody.com.
Paid for by the campaign to elect Mark Pody.
Candace Graham, Treasurer.
I'm Scott Desjardins, and I approve this message.
We will make America great again.
President Donald Trump has given his complete and total endorsement to Congressman Scott Desjardins, saying he fights for our military, veterans, law enforcement, and the Second Amendment.
I'm honored to be endorsed by President Trump. I know together we've got to control inflation, secure our borders, and strengthen our military.
Scott Desjardins, representing the people of the 4th Congressional District.
With your support, we will make America great again. Paid for by friends of Scott Desjardins.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Our guest is fully recovered journalist, public affairs specialist, the one, the only Clint Brewer. Clint, so a week ago today, the primary elections were held on a Thursday. And Marsha Blackburn won the nomination for governor.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised by the outcome?
No,
at all?
No, not at all. I mean, I think, I think I was surprised. I think Monty Fritz overperformed.
23% of the vote, spent $400,000.
Yeah, I mean that's a remarkable return on investment. I think he overperformed, and I think he took away from the vote for both Congressman Rose and Senator Blackburn. I think he took more away from Rose. But I don't think that was the decider in the election.
No.
I mean, the Blackburn campaign, it was just better run, better funded, better managed, better candidate. I mean, it just she's spent a career serving Tennesseans, and they asked her to serve again.
She won 44% of the vote. John Rose, who spent, and I think she spent like $6-7 million, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
John Rose spent $16 million of his own money.
Yeah.
And he got 33% of the vote.
Right.
Monty Fritz, I don't think he spent much of his own money. He raised $400,000. He got 23% of the vote.
Right.
That's a pretty stunning number if you look at the cost per vote for John Rose.
Yeah, it's very high. And if you look at the cost per vote for him compared to Fritz, I mean, it's big difference, right? And I think there were a lot of things about this cycle that confused me. I didn't understand why the congressman waited so late to get started. I think that was a tactical decision.
Congressman John Rose?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was a tactical decision. I think it proved in hindsight to be the wrong one. It was confusing a lot of people in the state,
So it's interesting because if you look at it, I mean, it's interesting how the polls were used. The polling early on showed Marsha with a very significant lead, 40-50%. And then we got this poll from McLaughlin and Associates that said it's 15 points and declining. That was interesting. They didn't show the methodology. Then another poll came out from Trump's pollster, maybe a week before, showing Marsha with a 17-point lead.
Right.
Then this On Message group put out a poll that showed it was like a dead heat.
Well, and that was kind of odd because it wasn't actually On Message. It was like a member of the team doing it on his own.
Yeah.
It was a little, I mean, I know all these people. I've used some of them. I think polling I think there are legitimate polls out there.
Mhm.
But like you look at what happened in the Democratic primary and what was that? Was it Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Was
Michigan. The Michigan one, that was like a
the
narrow
governor's
victory.
one. Well, but the polls completely missed it
Yeah.
in the Democratic primary. And
Yeah.
so, ever since the president's win in 2016, I think modern polling has been called into question.
It really has.
And I think that the industry of polling has kind of done it to itself by sticking to some very old ways of doing things.
Because everything's changing.
Yeah.
How
and-
people get information, how they make decisions.
Yeah, and I think, when a poll comes out like the Blackburn campaign had that says 17-point lead, that
Right.
is very believable. And it was pretty accurate.
And the methodology was documented.
Yeah, and methodology's put out there. That's a legitimate way to do it.
2 weeks earlier, McLaughlin Associates, not John, but his brother Jim, put out a poll without sufficient methodology, I thought, but showed the lead at 15 points. It may not have been 15 points then, but we knew it was going to narrow.
Yeah.
I gave him a hard time about it, but in the end, it's probably not too far off.
It was in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
It was in the ballpark.
I think the Rose campaign put out a poll late saying 3.5 points in the
which was
margin of error,
BS.
which just it comes off like marketing,
It does, yeah.
And I think you got to be careful with that. I think the polling industry continues to evolve. I mean, I know when we do corporate polling on issues, we're not really doing phone calls anymore. I mean, in some ways, online panels for issues are more reliable than phone calls. I think people are more truthful online, right, than they are when they're having to talk to somebody on the phone. And I don't think the industry's accounted for things like low propensity voters. I mean, I think that's probably how they missed Monty Fritz's number.
I think that's good. That's a good way to put it, because there is an anger out there that he was able to tap into, I thought.
I think so.
Now, that's interesting to see. We did get in that race. John Rose has endorsed Marcia.
That's good.
Monty Fritz is yet to be heard from on that issue, but we'll see. He hasn't said anything negative.
Well, I suspect it will not be the last time you'll see either, Monty Fritz or John Rose on a ballot. I mean, I think Fritz has to be encouraged that he did so well with so few resources. I think Congressman Rose probably will run for something again.
Probably. Okay, so we weren't surprised. I was not surprised at all. I called it double-digit victory before, and it was 11 points.
I was way off. I said 20.
Well, it's close. It's all right. So, and I was not surprised at all by Brent Taylor's victory in the 9th.
No.
It was 20 points. It was a blowout.
Yeah.
The guy worked so hard.
Yeah, I think that one was. I think that one was pretty well. The die was cast.
So
early.
we had a little difference in our likely picks in the 6th district. I said, and I was off by the margin, I said razor thin Johnny Garrett. I think you said razor thin or something like that. I think you thought Van would win.
Yeah.
Van ended up losing by about 14 points.
Yeah, which was, I think that surprised us both.
The margin was
Yeah.
a huge surprise.
I think so.
To me.
Yeah.
To what would you attribute that margin?
I'm still trying to decide. I mean, I don't have an answer. I've been told that Hillary was outspent by a lot. I guess I thought his time in the state and his time in the district and some of the support he got would make more of a difference, but it didn't.
But that was a bit of time ago, I would say. When
It
he was in
was,
office,
and the
yeah.
population's changed a lot. I thought Garrett's media was, he attacked Van on the fronts of, having lobbied, having been a creature of D.C. I mean, he said some things that obviously stuck. I thought the message against Van Hillary was well done.
So I think we had a little disagreement about the AI ad that Van Hillary's team put out.
Well, and I think the disagreement is just because I mean, I don't know, it was a disagreement. I think it was more like my position was there are ads that push the boundaries.
It did push the boundaries.
Most election cycles, and you got to, I mean, that's always going to happen.
I think there was a backlash. I mean, I've heard anecdotally that a lot of people didn't like that. And there was backlash against it because it was obviously not Johnny wearing a rainbow shirt at an LGBTQ event with Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
And there was no disclaimer.
Well, but at the same time, I don't know how much these elections still to this day are made up or decided by reactions to negative ads. I mean, I think they matter, but, there was obviously something happening on the ground in that race to get to 14 points.
I think so, yeah. I don't know what it was.
No.
Okay.
I mean, that was a lot.
That was a lot. Yeah, that's a big, that margin was surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's tough to be a candidate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at these people, and they're out working all day and doing numerous interviews.
You've got to want it. You've really got to want it.
You've really got to want it.
I mean, but let's talk about the really interesting one.
Well, do you want to?
Ogles Hatcher.
Yeah, Ogles Hatcher. I think we can start that conversation now. But we've got 2 minutes left in this segment, and we can close.
Well, I mean,
segment.
I think that the biggest. I mean, how often do you see an incumbent in Congress getting beat in a primary
by 6 points, 7 points?
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. Much less by that wide. Now, did redistricting play into it?
Yes,
certainly.
asterisk. But now I will tell you on the redistricting. So this particular district, Andy's old district, the old 5th, included parts of Davidson, parts of Wilson, parts of Williamson, all of Marshall, Murray, and Lewis. Okay. The new district includes parts of Williamson, parts of Murray, all of Lewis, and 13 other counties in the west, mostly rural, over to Memphis, that he'd never been to.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I looked at the margin of victory. He lost in the counties that he represented by 6 points, the same margin he lost in the other 13 counties he's never visited. We'll come back with Clint Brewer. He'll tell us why that matters. Back after this.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic. They work by lowering blood sugar and reducing appetite. So, what if you're looking to lose weight but not interested in painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those intense side effects? That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The ingredients studied in Lean have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings, so you're not as hungry. But listen, lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created lean for frustrated dieters with 10 or more pounds to lose. Get started with 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Go to takelean.com and enter the code Godzilla for your discount. That's discount code Godzilla at takelean.com.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pier 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Johnny Garrett's not some out-of-touch D.C. politician. Johnny Garrett's a Tennessean, a Christian conservative, and a proud father of three who's sick of the far left ruining our country with their radical policies. Conservative Johnny Garrett is proudly pro-life, pro-Trump to his core, and will always put America first. In Congress, Garrett will fight to lower taxes, cut government waste, and will always back the blue and support law and order. Garrett's fought for us in Nashville, and that's what he'll do in Congress. No to biological boys playing girl sports. No to communist China buying our farmland. And no to criminal illegals invading our state. Because with Johnny Garrett, what you see is what you get. It's time to bring more Tennessee to D.C. Send Trump conservative Johnny Garrett to Congress.
I'm Johnny Garrett, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Johnny Garrett for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
So, the new 5th district is very much a gerrymandered district. But 16 counties, mostly rural, western Tennessee, but parts of Memphis and parts of middle Tennessee. The Democrat nominee is Chaz Mulder, who's kind of a left-wing lawyer out of former, the mayor of Columbia.
Right,
Columbia's
which is actually not in the district.
Yeah. He's not in the district. I think that Charlie Hatcher, who won by 6-7 points over Andy in the primary, is going to do better against Chaz Mulder than Andy would have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything I heard from the other side of the aisle is that the Mulder campaign was not real happy with the clean energy group that came in and did the independent expenditure against Ogles. Yeah, they wanted Ogles. The Mulder campaign wanted to run against Ogles. They did not want Hatcher.
And the reason is Charlie Hatcher is a veterinarian, a farmer. Hatcher Dairy. Family been in business for centuries.
Hire a farmer.
Hire a farmer. Now, that was a good theme in a rural district.
Yeah.
Chaz Mulder's not a farmer.
Right.
And he there's no way he could pretend to be a farmer.
Right.
Charlie Hatcher was the agriculture commissioner for many, many years.
Which puts you in touch with a lot of people at the grassroots level.
Yeah. And so he was known to these folks. And he's a likable guy. And he's going to be a solid conservative. He's not going to be, a flamethrower per se, but he'd be steady and reliable and conservative.
It's interesting. Tennessee, unlike a lot of its southern counterparts, does not have many statewide elected offices.
It's only got one statewide elected
Yeah, I mean,
governor.
Other than two Senate offices at the state level,
just governor.
All you have is governor. You don't have a comptroller or an auditor. You don't have an AG. You don't, Secretary of State. A lot of these positions in other states are elected, so you have more of a bench of people to run for higher office. If you look at the last, call it 10 years, we've had, let's just say, for argument's sake, that Hatcher's going to beat Mulder, which I think he will.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean,
one of the reasons is there's not going to be a bunch of lefties from San Francisco going after Charlie Hatcher.
Right. Well,
right?
there might be, but I don't think they'll be as effective.
What are they
right?
going to say? The guy's a farmer representing a farm district.
I mean, there will be an independent expenditure in that race from outside.
But it's not
going
to be nothing like it would have been against Andy
But my
Ogles.
point is, if you look at, let's talk about Senator Haggerty, Congressman Van Epps, and now Commissioner Hatcher, you've got potentially 3 cabinet members from the last 2 gubernatorial administrations.
Good point.
That have all made it into that have made it into elected office. You know, and those commissioner jobs have not traditionally been a launching point for a political campaign, or not a successful political campaign. So, you know, I mean, I want to say a former economic development commissioner and TVA chief, Bill Baxter, ran for governor several decades ago, was not successful. You had Bob Clement, who was the head of the Public Service Commission, which is a bygone thing in state government, but that was not a cabinet position, but he had to be elected to it. So, you know, I mean, there have been some people who've translated from state government positions to congressional positions, but it's not been linear cabinet member to higher office. So that's a new thing, relatively new thing, where these cabinet positions have been launching points for political careers.
Yeah, and I think, you know, in terms of the way the press has looked at this, they've got it all wrong in terms of the 5th district race.
Right.
You know, Donald Trump did endorse Andy Ogles back in, I think, October 25, at which point, I don't even know if Charlie had announced then. Right around the time Charlie announced.
Yeah, but you got to let people know the president endorsed you.
Yeah.
And Congressman Ogles has never shown the either ability or willingness, I'm not sure which, to raise any money. And
that's part of the job. You got to raise some money.
Well,
and he didn't have any money.
And I don't understand that exactly, but you know, you got to let people know the president endorsed you.
If you are a member of Congress, part of your job, like 3 or 4 hours a week, you got to go into a room where you get a list of people to call.
You got to fundraise every week.
And you got to ask them for money.
I mean, I think the old statistic that's been out there for a while is you've got to basically raise $10,000 every 48 hours to stay in Congress. That's like the average.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, but I mean, I think Ogles, you know, career-long inability or unwillingness to raise money was a factor. I think the redistricting was a factor. Hatcher just ran a better campaign.
Yeah.
It was more retail.
And let me just say,
there.
the guy who came on board in May that handled that, John Newman.
From Jackson, Tennessee.
From Jackson, Tennessee.
West Tennessee guy.
Yeah. He knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And
he's a former state Republican Party staffer.
Yeah. And he was a trustee of the county for a while. Ran for mayor of Madison County.
Like I said about the gubernatorial campaign, the quality of the campaign management matters a lot.
You bet. Clint Brewer, it is a delight to have you here. Next time you'll be here will be in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And followed by Mike Keith.
All right. I'm excited.
All right. Up next, Rob Carson. Tomorrow, sitting in for me, Tom Pappert and Judson Phillips. I will see you 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern on Monday, right here on the John Fredericks Radio Network. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. The website, TennesseeStar.com.